Welcome, Eve Molzhon, owner of Fun for Pets, Dog Handler Academy, Dog School of Minnesota, and Pawesome Pets Country Club. Welcome to the Pet Marketing Mastermind.
Well, thank you. Yes, it always is overwhelming when you list everything.
It's overwhelming saying it. I cannot only imagine running it and marketing it, of course. Please tell everyone about all of your companies and brands, kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Certainly. So we'll start with the oldest one, Fun for Pets. Been around for 10 years. That was my blood, sweat, and tears to get that one started. And that's dog daycare, dog, cat, ferret, parrot, small animal boarding. And then we also run a dog school program out of there, as well as my nonprofit Second Chance to Shine. And then as COVID was ending, I created Dog Handler Academy and Dog School of Minnesota. So Dog School of Minnesota is a training school for humans and dogs up in Minnesota and in the Minneapolis area. And then Dog Handler Academy was my labor of love. That is an online employee training platform that is meant just for the dog daycare industry or animal care industry, vet clinics, shelters, rescues, that type of thing, to take Joe Schmo off the street and teach them how to accurately, effectively, and safely work with animals. And then Pawesome Pets Country Club is my newest dog daycare and boarding facility in Holmen, Wisconsin, so 20 minutes away from the mothership. And that one we just opened in March. So we're just coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Very, very impressive. And then full disclosure for the audience at home, we partnered together for Dog Handler Academy on the Business Marketing 101 that is through doghandleracademy.com. Given all of your companies, nonprofits, physical locations, online trainings, how do you keep the marketing organized? I imagine all the other stuff is difficult to organize as well, but how do you keep the marketing organized, like logos and brand, and how do you keeping that all straight?
Yeah, so it's not easy, truthfully. I mean, you see behind me, I've got Post-it notes on things. So each one of the big white squares is one of the businesses. And then the different little Post-its are what we kind of have going on for that business. But we do plot it out. So for both of my dog daycares, we have parties on holidays. So we already pre-map all those out. What are the dates? And then we take images from previous year's parties, and then we preload what we want to promote. So that we map that out for the year, both dog daycare facilities. For the dog school, that one is looking at the seasons. So as an example, spring is coming. So right now we're marketing, hey, are you going to want to take your dog off leash hiking? Are you going to want to take your dog to parks or family outings? Now's the time to sign them up for dog school. So by the time the weather gets warmed, your dog's ready to go, right? So that one, we really look at seasonality to some extent and kind of figure out what our marketing is for that. And then for Dog Handler Academy, that is international. So we're in 13 countries teaching people how to work in dog daycare and boarding facilities. So that one is the one that isn't as easy to plot out, because we're not looking at seasons to solve somebody's problem. We're not looking at geographics to solve somebody's problem. We're looking at every time you need to hire somebody, I need to be the company that you go to help solve that problem. So that one becomes a little more challenging in the sense of it's harder to plot out like a plan. For that one, what we're doing is just always talking about why, when it is time for you to hire somebody or you need to come up with a training program for your employees, what's your problem and how are we always that solution that you should be coming to? So for that one, we are just always looking at the various, and when I say problems, I'm using the term loosely, what issues are you facing in the dog daycare industry? And then how is Dog Handler Academy your solution to that problem? Such as the marketing course that you helped us create. Because so many times we go to conferences and they're like, marketing, and you need to do TikTok and YouTube and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but how? Physically, how do I do that? Yeah. And so that's, again, there's that problem, right? I'm told I need to do it. How do I actually do it? Because I don't want to screw it up. And so that's where you came in, Joe, of teaching us actually how to do it step-by-step process. But yeah, so Marketing Dog Handler Academy is the one that I find most challenging, because we always are looking at what issues are in our industry, or what creative problems can we help solve for people.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, it was a fantastic process. I'd recommend to check it out if you have a dog handling business on a marketing side. Let's go back a little bit. What was your first marketing strategy role, pet or non-pet?
Oh, first non-marketing strategy role. That's a deep question. So probably outside sales, but that was back before we had smartphones. So that was just sales in general. I would say getting into the marketing was, I worked for Kaplan Corporation, which is owned by the Washington Post. So huge corporate, and in charge of the inside sales team. And we had to do PowerPoint presentations for insurance agencies like State Farm and things like that. And so how do we add the glitz and the glam to our PowerPoint presentations to reel people in, or get people wanting to sign up for that? And that, I think, was the first time I ever really had to get into online type marketing and figure and navigate that. And again, this was all when it was first coming around too. So there was lots of trials and errors, and it was pretty clunky back then. I mean, it was a PowerPoint presentation, so there, and we were sending out Google Calendar invites. So it wasn't real high tech. And then I would say jumping in with both feet was when I first started Fun for Pets. And as I was building that business, like literally like construction building it, like tearing out flooring and building walls and painting, I would shoot videos of, hey, look at how great the walls are. Your dog's going to love it here, and posting it out on Facebook. So I did that the entire 72 days before I opened. Every day I was putting something out there. Wow. And spending $5 boosting it because money was tight, because I had to build it. And that by far helped just to get my name out there. Was just people going, oh, look at that. Ooh, what is that? Oh, she's putting in this kind of flooring. And I always say why it was super important to have epoxy flooring. And people are like, ooh, I don't know that my daycare that I'm currently using is doing that. I need to check this out. I'm going to follow, make sure when they open, I come check it out. So just creating that excitement, right? The hype, even though I wouldn't say I really knew exactly what I was doing. It was just creating awareness, like, hey, new kid in town, check us out, follow us. And that was my biggest marketing extravaganza to start with, was just preemptively hyping what I had going on.
Yeah, I love that behind the scenes from that expert point of view. You're kind of raw, just hit record and able to share your expertise, but in a real and raw way. It's fantastic. What, if any, difference in marketing to pet owners versus other consumers, whether in like the cellular or municipalities? What have you noticed as a marketing to pet owners is different? Or if there's nothing different, what's like a secret or a trick that you've used, kind of your back pocket, like you need a marketing campaign to work, so you always use this?
Well, I think the one similarity is solving their problem, right? Whether you're the business owner or, you're the pet parent, how can I help solve your problem? I think that by far is the similarity. The biggest difference is, as the pet parent, we're looking at quality of life for the dog and for me, versus as a business owner, when I'm looking like for Dog Handler Academy, it's time savings and efficiency. So not necessarily relationship based. So those are the two that I find to be different in that aspect. But yeah, anytime I'm promoting my dog daycare boarding business, it's problem solving and relationship building. How am I going to care for that pet in a manner that lets you know that I have a relationship with your pet, or I'm going to care for them just as much as you do. So it's really creating that peace of mind and that bond.
For sure. Yeah, I love that bond and that relationship, because when you hand off your dog at the counter, you have to trust that person, trust the brand first, and then trust the individual. So developing a deeper relationship. And I think your parties help you do that too, right? The parties feel like they're...
The parties. People love the parties. We actually have clients that the only time we see them is for our parties because they just love them so much. Like we had a dog come and she's like, oh, he just had surgery. He's wearing a cone. That's why he hasn't been there in a couple months. Can he still come and do the party? Yes, he can still come and do the party.
Yeah, that the deeper relationship you have, I think now today's economy is an attention economy and a relationship economy. If they love you, they're going to select you, and price is not a consideration anymore because I love the team over there at Fun for Pets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to pay for that because I have a relationship, and you going live on your feed and having a really good social presence. You're like, oh, I just see them, so of course I'm going to go there, which I absolutely love about your marketing and what you do. Out of all of your pet-related businesses, what marketing campaign are you most proud of and why? It could have been like a billboard, an ad campaign, a slogan, some viral media. What things that what put the feather in the cap that you're like, we did that, either intentionally or unintentionally?
Yeah. So I think the big one was Dog Handler Academy. And the ad campaign was, do you know your shit? And we showed the picture of how to identify the 8 different types of poop that we train employees on. And by far, it was very catchy. It was graphic. It was a little shock and awe. But for those of us that, are training staff in the daycare industry, we were solving a problem. Like, how do you identify poop? And so that one, by far, I think, set us apart in multitude of ways. Do you know your shit? And here's 8 different types, and can you identify them? So that was our ad campaign. And people literally will come up to me at conferences and go, oh, you're the poop lady. I'm like, yes, I'm the poop lady.
I love that too, because you actually do continue that campaign during your shows as well. If you've ever seen their booth, you go scoop poop. So that's like this integrated standout. And obviously, like, there are other people in your space that would never do that. And
Correct.
so you lived in a place that only you could.
Yes,
You're the only one that could get that approved. And I love that from a marketing campaign, because then it's like, there's one. And it also talks about that problem solved, because you might not think about the 8 different types. Let's not think about them right now while we're listening to this. But it is certainly a problem you have when you hire a 22-year-old who's had a dog in their house. Like, maybe she's seen 1 or 2, but all 8 are important.
Right. Yep. And like you said, we embraced our shit, literally and figuratively, and really made it part of what we do. So yeah, in our booths, you scoop poop to win a prize. One year out at, I think it was the year we met you at Super Zoo, we had macaroon cookies in the shape of poop. Yep. So we gave away poop cookies, giving away poop stress balls. So we've really kind of embraced that in a fun way. But yeah, it's something that sets us apart from Dog Handler Academy. We're the only online employee training platform that teaches staff how to identify poop. Because if you've never seen worms in poop, you have no idea what you're looking for.
Exactly. One of those questions, you mentioned it once to me, like, they don't know what to ask because they don't know. They don't know what to do because they don't know. And informed staff is important. When a dog owner sees a marketing campaign from, let's just say Pawesome Pets Country Club, because that's your newest brand, what is your primary goal? Direct sign up, brand love, awareness, or does it vary through the time?
So it's a twofold. It's a brand awareness, because if somebody needs boarding, we want to be front of mind, right? Boarding, they're not going to use us every day, every week. They might use us every couple of months. But when they're looking for a place to board their dogs or their cats or their small animals, we want them to think Pawesome Pets Country Club. So just building that brand and getting our name out there. So I'm the 8th facility in our community of 100,000 people. So, wow. There's a little bit of saturation there. And then the second piece is sign up for dog daycare. We are our area's newest facility, but we're also membership based and enrichment based. And none of the other facilities are like that. So it's setting ourselves apart of, hey, why do you want to leave your existing facility that you're utilizing and come over to us? We're not the cheapest place in town, but we're offering your dog not only playtime, but enrichment. Enrichment meaning we might be working on sit stays for the day. We might be doing, like this past week was Mardi Gras week. So we were doing fun dress ups. The week before it was flirt pole. So teaching your dog to engage with the toy and when to leave the toy alone. So getting people to sign up with us is the second piece to it. So for dog daycare, sign up, come and see us, come and become a member of the country club. And then for boarding, it's more brand awareness. So that way, when you need us.
Love it. So you kind of both sides, two different services, two different goals in those campaigns, especially during, travel time and when people are leaving and holidays, you maybe ramp up the awareness. So they're like, oh, I need some boarding. So let's make sure we think of Pawesome Pets Country Club.
Yep, absolutely. So like school will be getting out soon. We got a couple more months before school gets out. So the whole month before school gets out, we're going to be promoting boarding. So people are booking us for those summer vacations.
Absolutely love it. Yeah. It's important to like seasonality, understand where people's like mind is. And again, solving those problems when it makes sense. I'm about to book that summer vacation in Orlando. Where does Fido go? Of course, he goes to Pawesome Pets Country Club. Excellent. And we're shifting a little bit to marketing tools now. Given the ever-changing marketing landscape with new social media tools, new marketing tools, how do you keep up with the latest trends? And then how do you test out a new social platform or a new tool?
Yeah. So keeping up is the hard part, right? Like that's your specialty, Joe. No lie there, right? Like following you and what are you talking about? So yeah, always testing out the new stuff and really just making sure that we're on everything. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, all of that stuff for my brick and mortar businesses. For Dog Handler Academy, all of those things plus LinkedIn. Because Dog Handler Academy is also B2B. The big corporations that own 20 or 30 dog daycares, those executives are on LinkedIn. People that want to get into the dog daycare industry, those people are on LinkedIn in their professional careers. So kind of knowing where my audience is and what are they looking for. LinkedIn was one I hadn't thought of because if you're looking for a dog daycare, you're not on LinkedIn searching for it. But if you're looking for employee training, you're looking to get into the dog daycare business, you're already on LinkedIn as a business professional. That's where you might find me, is putting content out there. And then how do I test? So I'm kind of silly how I test. I'm now known for my Facebook Reels of putting on fake arm sleeve tattoos that I buy off Amazon. And so that's how I test. I test on my personal account. I'll put on a tutorial of how to put on a fake Amazon tattoo on my arm or my neck. I even did one on Halloween and I did a face tattoo on my face, which I found out it was just a tattoo of a face, not a face tattoo for my face. Yeah, unpackaged that one. Realized it the next day. So I test those out on my personal accounts, adding text, putting music on there, those things. Because I'm okay embarrassing myself. So that's all right. And then once I feel comfortable, then going ahead and utilizing it in my business. So like this week up at Pawesome Pets Country Club, it's dance off week. So it's hip hop and ballerina. Dancing this week is what we're teaching the dogs.
Oh my gosh. So good.
We've got throwback 80s music of crisscross and jump. And you see the dogs moving their paws up and down. So we'll make that into some Facebook Reels of dogs jumping up and down and playing jump. And then getting dogs to go up on their hind feet and then spin around in circles. And so we'll play some classical kind of ballerina style music for that. So again, testing that out a little bit ahead of time, making sure we've got the game plan and then rolling that out. So we do our Reels once a week. at the end of the week. So throughout the week, we'll do pictures and video, just plain videos. And then at the end of the week, we do a Facebook reel that's like a synopsis of the week, and then throw those out there.
Love it. I love the testing on your personal, because it feels a little like softer. If it doesn't work out, it's a couple of seconds and family and friends, and then you're able to say like, hey, this really worked out, this style or this song worked out, and then you roll it out with your brands as well. What marketing tool are you most excited about in the next 6 months? AI, maybe some tracking, influencers, text messaging, maybe offline marketing?
Yeah. So we're starting to play a little bit with AI, and we're utilizing that in my dog school of Minnesota. So using AI to create the graphics and the headers for what we're looking for. It's super hard to show a dog pulling on a leash, right? Like, how do I'd have to set it up, and it's just a nightmare to try and do that. But you type into AI, like, hey, I need a dog pulling on a leash. And then it gives you all these options. And you're like, yes, that's the one I want. Then you add your graphics, and then, hey, we can help solve this problem if this looks like you walking your dog. So yeah, utilizing that quite a bit for Dog School of Minnesota is working out well. It's speeding up our process versus, again, me trying to, okay, I need to go find a dog that's going to yank me. And then, okay, you need to take a picture. Oh, that was a crappy picture. Okay, let's try that again, right? Like wasting all that time. So that one to me is super exciting. And then we're really honing in on using keywords for Dog School of Minnesota as well, because that is strictly dog training. So we can really kind of narrow down our demographic for that one. So that's super exciting. I'm enjoying what we're creating for that one. And so that's kind of nice. And then for Dog Handler Academy, we're going to delve into some influencers a little bit. So a couple key people that I've met that are funny and entertaining. Mm-hmm. And just doing some interviews with them on, they were just average people that got into the dog industry, and kind of how did they get their start, and just give people a little bit of insight that, you could be an RN at a hospital at the age of 40 and get into the dog industry, whether as a dog trainer or a dog daycare owner. So yeah, so just want to interview some influencers and tell their stories a little bit more on the dog piece, which is like their secondary thing that they're known for, not necessarily the primary thing that they're known for.
Very cool. I love that you use like each of those new different tools in like its own business that makes sense. You got to get to like put your hat on and say, okay, what new tools around the block and how is it appropriately used for my audience? What do you think is going to be the most difficult thing you're going to deal with in the next 6 months in one of your businesses from a marketing side? Maybe it's the looming economy. Maybe it's something with supply chain. Maybe it's, people going back to the office or working from home more. What's something from a marketing side that you feel is going to be your biggest challenge in any of your businesses?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in the upcoming 6 months is the economy. As an industry, we've already seen a significant slowdown, about 50% slowdown in our numbers, daycare and boarding across the board, and training. So it's watching the economy and just seeing where are people spending their money. I like to follow the hospitality industry, the hotel industry and tourism industry, and where are they seeing some things? And then I kind of know where it's going. So what I've seen is people are still taking the trips, but they're pulling back on their day-to-day expenditures. So daycare is down more than boarding. And, I think the economy, people have just kind of got caught up in it. Like, oh man, when I go to the grocery store, it is about 30% more than it was last time. So they're just starting to realize their finances a little bit. And so my marketing is really going to shift to add-on services. And that's really where I'm going to hone in. I'm still going to work on getting new clients, but I'm really going to focus my marketing on added value. And what are some little things that I can do that adds value to the client, isn't going to create a new expense for me, And that will keep my current clientele solid and also entice new people to come in. So added value is really where I'm focusing. I've created a couple new add-on services to my boarding dogs. One is a warm blanket. So for $5, they can get a warm blanket for boarding. And the other one is $3 for a calming spritz at bedtime. So a nice lavender spritz to help them fall asleep. So those are the things that I'm going to be promoting, is that added value service in the next 6 months, because I just feel like that's what people are going to be looking for. What am I getting for my dollar? They're going to be a little bit more discerning with their money.
For sure. Before it's like, oh yeah, just go. Now it's like, what do I get? And those added services, I feel like you could flex with those. They go, cool, we'll add it in on the first day, or come back the second time and you get a free one and a value there. You've shared a ton of advice, and thank you so much for your time and for all you do in the pet boarding and daycare industry across the board. Definitely one of the leaders in the space. What final piece of advice do you have for pet marketing professionals, entrepreneurs, maybe somebody's just getting into the marketing space, or an executive who's needing some advice from somebody on the ground doing it in so many different ways and different facets?
I would say the number one thing that I have learned over the last 6 months is show the behind the scenes. So people want to see, how do I get the dogs to sit pretty for the party? How do we get the dogs to do the ballerina dance? They see the ballerina dance, but they want to know, how did we do that? Right? They want to see the how and the why. And so that's one thing that we're going to work on, is showing that behind the scenes. So this time when we did our Valentine's party, I shot a couple videos of my staff kind of wrestling with the dogs and getting knocked over, and a dog taking the boa wrap with the feathers and running around the room thinking, haha, funny, funny. So people want to see the outtakes. And I think part of it is from an educational perspective. And the other part is just the humor part of it. From the Valentine's party, it's all laughter. From the teaching the dogs how to do hip hop and ballerina dancing to music, I think that they just want to go, how do you do that? Because maybe I want to do that at home. So they want to see the behind the scenes pieces to it. I tell a lot of dog trainer people, show when you screw up with a dog. People want to see the human aspect of it. They want to see the humanization of it, and don't edit it, don't filter it. So I think if that's one thing I could have done better or more consistently, was show that behind the scenes piece to it. Because I think people are always intrigued. And the fact that you are showing that makes you seem vulnerable and open.
I love that too. You'll even see videos on TikTok on like the video itself of them doing the thing has like 1 million, and the behind the scenes has 10 million. It's the same process, same thing. But again, yeah, it's raw, it's real. I feel like a lot of people think it has to be polished to go public. And I think it has to be real and on brand. It's a shift. It's fascinating. Well, Eve, as always, thank you so much for your time, for everything you do in the space. You're definitely one of those that lift everything up, make the industry better, make all the daycares better in your space. So thank you again. Where can people check you out? One of your many brands. Where should the people follow your journey?
Yeah, so Dog Handler Academy on Facebook. I try and throw up little tidbits every week, talk to you about what issues I'm facing or the industry is facing. So Dog Handler Academy on Facebook, or doghandleracademy.com for extra info.
Awesome. Well, again, Eve, thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, where we're going to bring you innovative marketing strategies, actionable advice, keep up with those latest trends, and thrive in today's market. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for listening to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. Talk soon. Are you a pet entrepreneur and or pet marketing professional? Do you want a place where you can gain innovative marketing strategies, receive actionable advice, keep up with the latest trends, and thrive in today's market? Welcome to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. All guests are proven and successful marketers in the pet industry.